Hello, welcome to Love Lust Betrayal. Subscribe if you like our stories. Let's dive into the story. Standing at the podium during my promotion party, she raised her champagne glass and smiled at my husband, the biggest loser I've ever known. The laughter that followed shattered something deep inside me. I was the man they celebrated, yet I felt like the punchline of a cruel joke. They say success is the best revenge, but no one tells you how hollow it feels when the one person meant to stand by your side doesn't believe in you. For the past 10 years, I built everything I had from scratch: a flourishing real estate firm, a dream house, and a reputation for turning every failure into a stepping stone. Yet, my wife, Lily, always seemed to see the cracks rather than the foundation. Lily was my college sweetheart. She had been radiant, ambitious, and magnetic, a woman who could own any room she walked into. I loved her fiercely, but over the years, her once inspiring confidence became a double-edged sword. She began to cut me down, subtly at first, then with a brazenness I couldn't ignore. The promotion party at the downtown Hilton was supposed to be a celebration of our shared success. She helped me pick the suit, chose the venue, and coordinated with my assistant. But standing there, hearing her cruel toast, I realized she had choreographed the whole evening for her own stage. The room erupted in uncomfortable chuckles, my colleagues shifting awkwardly. I forced a smile, raising my glass, but my hand trembled. I looked at her, hoping for a sign of remorse. Instead, her smirk was as sharp as the knife she had just driven into my back. The ride home was suffocatingly silent. Lily scrolled through her phone, her lips curling into a smug grin now and then. "You didn't have to do that," I said, my voice low, measured. "Do what?" she asked, feigning innocence. "Humiliate me. Call me a loser. In front of everyone, Lily." Her laugh was cold. "Oh, come on, Nathan. Don't be so dramatic. It was a joke. Besides, it's not like they don't already think so." Her words hit harder than the champagne ever could. My knuckles whitened against the steering wheel. Later that night, as I sat in my home office, nursing a scotch, I couldn't shake the unease. My phone buzzed a text from her, of all people: "Can't wait to see you tomorrow. He's so pathetic." I stared at the screen, the words searing into my brain. My heart raced as realization dawned: that text wasn't meant for me. The days that followed were a blur of anger and discovery. I started paying closer attention to her late-night phone calls, sudden business trips, and the way she'd disappear into the bathroom with her phone. One evening, after she left for yoga, I followed her. My suspicions were confirmed when I saw her laughing intimately with a man at a dimly lit restaurant. The sight was a gut punch. She leaned in, placing a hand on his arm, her smile warmer than I had seen in months. I didn't confront her that night. Instead, I started planning. I dug into our finances and uncovered unauthorized transfers to an account under her name. I hired a private investigator, who provided me with photos, recordings, and a full dossier on her lover Ryan, a mid-level executive at her firm. The pieces fell into place like a jigsaw puzzle designed to break me. The humiliation, the condescension, the constant erosion of my confidence was all part of her narrative to justify her betrayal. But I wasn't the loser she thought I was. I called my lawyer and revised my will, then quietly moved assets into a trust only accessible to me. I installed hidden cameras around the house, capturing her private phone calls. The most damning evidence was a video of her and Ryan discussing their endgame, draining my accounts and leaving me penniless. 2 weeks later, Lily threw a dinner party. She insisted I attend, despite my growing distance. As she entertained our guests with her charm, I waited for the right moment. After dessert, I stood, clinking my glass for attention. "I'd like to make a toast," I began, my voice steady. Lily's eyes narrowed. "To my wife, Lily," I said, turning to her. "For her dedication, her ambition, and her creativity. You've truly outdone yourself." The room went silent as I clicked a remote, projecting the damning video onto the living room wall. Gasps filled the room as Lily's betrayal played out before her friends, her lover's voice unmistakable. She lunged for the remote, but I stepped aside. "Sit down, Lily. We're just getting started." "Nathan, this isn't." "Save it." My voice cut through her protests. "You called me a loser, but let me tell you what a winner looks like." I outlined everything: the financial trust, the divorce papers already filed, and the prenup that left her with nothing. "You thought you'd ruin me," I said, my voice rising. "But you underestimated me. That's the thing about losers, we know how to turn the odds in our favor." Lily's face twisted in fury. "You think you're better than me? You're pathetic, Nathan." Her words no longer stung. They fueled me. The crescendo came when I revealed the final blow: her lover had been fired after an anonymous tip to HR exposed their affair. His marriage, too, was in shambles. "I'm done being your punching bag, Lily," I said, my voice firm. "This is your mess to clean up now." She stormed out, slamming the door behind her. The silence that followed was deafening, but it was a silence I welcomed. In the weeks that followed, the fallout was brutal for her. She lost her job, her reputation, and the friends who had seen her true colors. Meanwhile, I found solace in the life I had rebuilt for myself, one untainted by deceit. The divorce was finalized quietly, and I sold the house we once shared. Starting over felt daunting, but it also felt liberating. One evening, as I sat in my new apartment overlooking the city skyline, I reflected on the man I had become. I wasn't a loser. I was a survivor, a man who had faced betrayal and emerged stronger. Lily's voice still echoed in my mind sometimes, but it no longer had power over me. Because the truth was, I had won. And that victory was mine alone. They say success is the best revenge. But the real victory? Walking away with your dignity intact and leaving the broken pieces of betrayal behind.